Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, we got some very interesting news on the EVO front. So I'm sure you're probably aware, but the EVO Evolution series of tournaments is the granddaddy of them all as far as fighting games are concerned. EVO is the fighting game world championship. And in recent years, there's definitely been some change behind the scenes. The ownership has flipped-flopped around several times. We'll talk more about that. And then there started being more than one EVO. And that's going to be the main story because now there's going to be a lot of EVOs. But yeah, for ownership, a few years back, EVO was sold to RTS Group, who shared some co-ownership with PlayStation. Then PlayStation, if I remember right, divested some of their share to an Indian esports organization called Nodwin. But somewhere along the road here, RTS Group, which is owned by Qiddiya, now just owns all of EVO. Qiddiya being a Saudi Arabia concern, which, well, frankly, felt like inevitable, right? This feels like this was always going to happen. Frankly, when I saw the news, I thought Saudi Arabia already owned EVO, to be honest with you, so hey, whatever. But that leads us to today's news. Now that EVO is 100% under one roof, EVO is going to be expanding and big time. So we got a bunch of news, so let's break it down. What's going on with EVO? So for one, EVO is going grassroots? EVO supporting your local? Apparently that is the plan. EVO as an entity is supporting locals all around the world now, apparently. In their own words, EVO is setting out to help solve the challenges locals face, from equipment to awareness and player connectivity permanently. More details will be communicated to our local partners and the community over the coming months. Now, what does that even mean? I don't know. You can definitely speculate a lot. Is EVO going to give your local a setup and buy all the DLC for you for Street Fighter 6? Like, I can't really see anyone saying no to that. The logistics of that are very odd because, this is a business in the end. I can't see them just doing all this out of pocket. So can you become an EVO affiliated local? Like, straight up, like this says they can help with their equipment and awareness. Can EVO sponsor your 9-man Tekken tournament? If so, great. I'm actually really interested to see how that'll work. The next bit, though, this is the big news because, well, I'd say EVO's going worldwide, but it's already a worldwide concern, but it's going even more worldwide. Now, keep in mind before anything else, the existing EVOs of EVO Vegas, Japan, and France, nothing is changing with those. Starting with 2027 though, so next year, we're doing a lot more EVOs. EVO Brazil, EVO Morocco, EVO Mexico, EVO Saudi Arabia, and EVO China. Now first, yeah, I know EVO Saudi Arabia, it was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen years ago, it's just finally here. You don't gotta like it, but it was going to be a thing. So I'm of two minds of this here, because a lot more EVOs is good and bad, in my opinion. So let's start with the good. Yo, Brazil, Morocco, China, like all these places, that's great. There's more opportunities for people all around the world to have their big moment, their big tournament. It's always a pleasure to go to the big show. However, going to the big show, if it's either Japan or Vegas or whatever, that's mad expensive. If you could have your own EVO in your relative backyard, that makes things a lot easier for you and a lot more realistic on your wallet. Like, take me for example, I'm in Canada. Going to Vegas ain't cheap, and I'm trying to go to a lot of events this year. To help with that, you may have seen me around in not usual places on the internet like IGN. It has been almost 3 years since Street Fighter 6 was released, the latest entry in the popular Street Fighter franchise, and it's still going to be around for many years to come. Weird, right? Travel ain't cheap, and if I want to attend a lot more events this year, I need to make a lot more money, to be real. By the way, if you have paid work you think I'm a good fit for, please hit me up. But let's say there was an EVO Toronto. Well then all of a sudden, boy howdy, that'd be a lot more attractive to me because it'd be a lot less money for me to go. But say you're in South America, right? So an EVO Brazil or Mexico is certainly more realistic for you to attend. If you're in the Middle East, Morocco or Saudi Arabia, probably a lot more realistic and a lot more cheaper to attend, so on and so forth. So having your quote-unquote own EVO can be a big boon to those local communities. The cheaper it is to travel, the more realistic it is for you to go. So in that aspect, I think this is a big positive. But the more Evos you do, this is the negative, the more you do, the more you dilute the brand. Evo immediately got less special when there was Evo Japan, because now there's 2. And then we have Evo France, and now we got a bunch more Evos. I think we're up to like 9 or something now. By having more Evos, you simply make Evo less special. Now, I'm certain that Evo Vegas will always be the main Evo, like the true World Championship Evo. But also, if we have more Evos around the world, I would expect the numbers at Evo Vegas to probably go down. Because why save money if you're in Brazil for the big trip when you can just go to Evo Brazil instead, right? So it's good for the local community, but it diminishes the overall power of your brand. It's the simple thought process of the more of something there is, the less special it gets. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily even a bad thing to do, but I'm just trying to be realistic about it. Because for me, if there was an Evo Toronto or Montreal, I probably would be less likely to go to Evo Vegas. So overall, probably a net gain, especially for the worldwide community, like the community that doesn't exist in USA and Japan. I think it's a big win overall for that. But, you know, Evo's supposed to be special, and I feel like it's increasingly just a little less special. That said, though, this is all just my opinion on the matter. I'm sure you got yours, so please post it in the comments below. But that said, there is still more news yet. We're also going to have a fighting game world championship. So for this one, I'm just going to read their press copy as it is. Evo is excited to announce that as part of our next evolution, that we will be hosting a new championship format designed to uncover who is truly the grandmaster of fighting games. Unlike existing world championships, this new format will require competitors to showcase their mastery of multiple fighting games, putting their adaptability, game knowledge, and fighting game fundamentals to the ultimate test. Only by demonstrating the next level skills across the entire fighting game genre can a player rise to claim this latest championship. We will be working closely with our publisher partners to determine which titles will be included in this format, and we'll have more information for you later this year. Additionally, we'll be working with the community closely to help identify what modern day titles and legacy masterpieces should represent the breadth of fighting games in this new tournament, with a focus on competitive, not entertainment selections. And it'll be in either Evo Vegas or Japan. But yeah, the focus on competitive, not entertainment selection is very fun wording. I'm assuming that means games that take real skill, like Mortal Kombat, not party games like Street Fighter. And I'm just gonna let that sit for a second. Who got mad? Someone got mad. I got somebody. But that's potentially really cool, and also a focus on classic games as well, so something like a Darkstalkers Vampire Savior can stay relevant, or a Samurai Showdown. It does read like they're kind of going for the SNK World Championship format, where at last year's SWC, all the champions of all the various SNK games had to fight each other in all the various SNK games, and they didn't get much say in it, right? The real champion was who was the best at all the games overall. Which I think is an interesting concept, right? Like, okay, you're great at Street Fighter. Awesome. But is that all you're good at? How good are you at KOF? How good are you at Virtua Fighter? Like, is the true champion not the one who's the best overall at the most games? So a concept like that, I think, could be potentially very interesting. And of course, like, I'm sure there'll be some marketing things like, hey, here's current modern popular game. Here's a retro title that might be getting a re-release or a new game, you know, sometime in the future. But yeah, play around with it. But on its face, if it's anything like the SNK World Championships, which was very fun, I'm definitely for something like that. Just a matter of how well do they pull it off. And to cap off, we're given a little bit of a roadmap for the future. So for this year, Evo Vegas, Evo Japan, Evo France, it's all going off like normal. And I guess the local support they promised will begin this year. And starting next year, Evo Singapore, which we already knew about, Morocco, Brazil, China, Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. And then sometime also this Fighting Game World Championship they're talking about. So it's a lot of Evo, to say the least, right? A lot. And for some of you, I'm sure you're probably jumping for joy, like, oh my god, I finally have an Evo somewhat near me. And I'm happy for you, to be honest. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some issues of potential brand dilution, but whatever you think on the matter, again, please post in the comments below. At minimum though, I'll definitely say it's interesting. Like for myself, I'll definitely be at Evo Vegas this year. Don't be afraid to say hi if you see me. Evo France, Evo Japan, I don't got the funds for that. Not unless someone pays my way, and especially next year with like 6 more Evos, I'll go to maybe 2 of them, maybe if I can afford it. We'll see, right? When there's only 1 Evo, it's a must-go-to event. When there's 9 Evos a year, not as much. But Evo is certainly going worldwide at a minimum, right? So that's the news. And that said, my friends, that is the news for today. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.